Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be testing FSD 13.2.9 through a small town area. So we do have some interesting things like roundabouts, railroad tracks that you got to be careful going over, and hopefully there'll be some people walking around. So hopefully we can get some interesting situations for the car to try out. We do already have it in standard mode right now, and so it'll just take us about 8 minutes, it looks like, to get to our first destination, and then we have all these destinations actually in and around this Kennesaw area, and we'll just see how it does. Haven't gotten an update on FSD for quite a while. Still would have liked to have gotten the Robotaxi version of 13, whatever that is, that's out in Austin right now, and I guess also in California. But unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to get another update to FSD until they come out with version 14, which is supposed to be around the end of the month, next month. So probably another 5 weeks out. But that is according to Elon, so he's not great with timing, and we shall see. I'm fully prepared for not getting another FSD update until more like Christmas at this point, just because they'll probably have to get version 14 validated in their robotaxis, and hopefully they can get the safety monitor or safety driver out of the car in those situations with version 14. And then after they do that for robotaxi, hopefully they will start releasing that to the general public, but we'll see. Alright, so this is actually a rare instance where the lane selection here was actually good. We are not trying to pass these people or anything. We're obviously just going slow, but the lane on the left does end coming up shortly. Turns into a turn only there. So we were in the correct lane to be in, so that's good. So the first thing that we're going to do here is going to be interesting coming up is we have to go over a railroad track. So it'll actually, there's two lights it shows here for the railroad track to get over that. Hopefully it goes over it at an appropriate speed because it is very elevated. It is very elevated, so we definitely don't want to go over it too quickly. Otherwise, we'll get air. Even on version 12, I believe, we still had situations where it would kind of end up doing that. All right, now we don't actually need to have a turn signal there. We're just continuing the road, but that's fine. All right, so here's the railroad track. We have a car in front of us, so didn't really have an opportunity to go too fast, but it definitely went over it at a nice, comfortable speed. So that was good. There is no problem with this doing right on red here, as far as I know. So there we go. All right, and when we get to these destinations, I might just go ahead and edit the trip. I don't really need to see how it's going to park or not park, because we don't have the option for it to either park in a space or just stop in front of the building. So I'd rather just see how it handles getting to the next destination. So, all right. Trip. We're going to turn into it here. So, never mind. Turn in here. Not sure what it's going to do. There is a way out. All right, so we'll let it just stop here. It's just going to park. So that's fine. Continue trip. Press and hold. All right, so first destination, no problem. Okay, it kind of did an abrupt stop there after it started. Nothing in the way, so no problems, but that's kind of weird. So continuing on, here we are. This next destination, I guess we can just let it do what it's going to do at each destination. That way we can continue the navigation and see how it does with that. Stop sign's a little bit off to the right. I imagine if there was a large vehicle or something there, people may not notice that stop sign. But saw it just fine. Here's a roundabout. It signals for where it's going to exit. I guess technically that's correct, but not something that most people do, I don't believe. All right, so our destination is on the left. I don't know that we're allowed to do a U-turn here. I guess there's nothing that says we're not. Man. Oh. All right, I would not have done that. That's too much. That's too tight to do a U-turn. Okay. So, and we could have just ended up in our destination. Okay, so that was a failure. We're just going to go ahead, pull in here to get to our next destination. So that was not good. It tried to do U-turn in a spot that, in my opinion, was not allowed. It definitely wasn't going to make the U-turn. I don't know what if it was going to try to back up like I did and then turn it again. But you can see there's actually a bunch of tire marks on that curb there where other people have done U-turns or attempted to do U-turns and just drove over the curb. I would prefer not to drive over the curb. And I don't know that it would have done it, but I definitely didn't feel comfortable with it trying to do the 3-point turn there when we really shouldn't have done it at all. It did try to attempt to get over to the left or over to the right so that it could make the U-turn, but it was not going to make it. So, all right, on to the next destination. We'll see how we do here. Yep. Yeah, there's no sign that says you can't do a U-turn over there, but you definitely should not, in my opinion. I guess it would make it hard for people to get to some of those businesses, though, because of the way they did that. They shouldn't have made that median. Another roundabout, another turn signal to get out of the roundabout. Roundabouts now are usually very smooth. I never have any problems with them. So it's just sometimes weird how it signals going in and out of it. Oop. So we have a pedestrian here. It stopped for her, it looks like. Even though we were trying to... Oh boy. I feel like we probably shouldn't have gone there. There was a car, and we did we did go in front of them, but I don't know. I felt like they were coming on pretty fast, and I don't think we really should have gone there, but I didn't have to press the accelerator, I didn't have to disengage, and they didn't honk at us, so I guess I was fine. Although, not the best move in my opinion. It's almost like it got confused because there was that runner that decided to let go across the crosswalk before we went, and then as soon as they passed, it was trying to make that gap, but I don't think it really needed to try to do that. All right, this is a restaurant that is apparently not open on Tuesdays, I guess. And it's going to attempt to park. No. I'm not sure what it's saying. It's just going to turn around. Yeah, I'm not sure what it's doing. It definitely could have just parked or stopped there. That was where it needed to be. It seems to have gotten confused. So, I guess it's going to go down this street. Again, we were in the parking lot of our destination, and it decided that that was not how it wanted to get there. Now we're going into a parking lot of some other place that we cannot get out of. And parking. Okay. Yeah. So this was, we parked at a different location. This is not the parking lot for that destination. And we would have to walk out of this parking lot, which is also in a fence, to get over to the parking lot that we actually just came from, where we were supposed to be. So interesting choice for sure. Not great. Didn't have to disengage, but definitely wouldn't have been happy if my robo-taxi dropped me off here instead of in the parking lot of the location I was going to. Whatever. There's a nice little awkward 3-point turn there to get out of there. And we're going to turn left. This is a street I haven't been on. This looks new. Looks like new apartments over here. I think what we'll do here is, I don't really care about this destination, and I think we'll add, let's edit this trip, let's get rid of that, let's add 1885 grill, and let's put that before. Done. All right. So now we just really need to turn around. So it'll have to reroute once it figures that out. So it's going to use this parking lot here to turn around, looks like. See how that goes. Alright, so I just added this destination so that we could make sure that it goes the way I want it to, and we have to cross back over those railroad tracks from the other direction. Just want to see how it goes over those railroad tracks versus how it did before. We did have a lead car previously, so I definitely want to make sure that it goes over the railroad tracks nice and comfortably. All right, we're close to our destination. I'm going to go ahead and actually get rid of that one. All right, rerouted, so that's good. We do need to be in this turn lane. And see, it says no right for tractor trailers. And that's because they cannot go over this railroad track. So here we are. We're going over it at a slightly faster speed than I think I would. But it was still semi-comfortable. All right, our destination here is this Frozen Cow place, which apparently they do have a parking lot. And I don't want to go into that parking lot, so I'm actually just going to go ahead and go over here. So we did have one unfortunate interaction with the U-turn, where we did have to disengage. It was definitely not going to make that U-turn, so it was going to have to do a 3-point turn. I ended up taking over and basically did that myself, even though I guess the car probably would have done that, but I just didn't want to wait and see to find out. But it shouldn't have tried to take the U-turn in the first place. It definitely was not going to make that U-turn. And even though it tried to kind of preemptively go to the right to give it a little bit more room to the U-turn. And then the other problem that we had is it tried to go to that restaurant and for some reason parked in a totally different parking lot after it circled. It turned around in the parking lot that we were supposed to be in, went to a different parking lot and stopped there. It did it all without me having interact, so the only disengagement I did have to have was the one where I did not want to let it do that U-turn. So no safety disengagements, but definitely a disengagement based on what I wanted it to do. So anyway, that's it for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.